Hello and welcome to our easy 10-gallon, one vessel brew day. We are just getting ready to get our grain bill ground, and before we're doing that, we're going to be cleaning up our brewing area and getting our strike water heated up to our strike temperature. This is our first time using our Blakeman top tier floor burner, and we're excited to take it for a spin. Assembly was a snap. We pretty much just hand tightened the support arms on it. Alright, so we have a nice flame. So we are going to start heating our strike water. I'm going to take our brewing vessel, the kettle today, and I'm going to place it on the burner. And then we're going to begin filling our vessel with water. I know some of you might be cringing right now, but I'll tell you, we live in Milwaukee, we have some of the best water there is, so I have no problem using our hose water for brewing. Alright, so we are just getting our strike water into our brewing vessel. We're going to be doing a full volume. Again, this is a quick and easy, well, I don't know about quick or easy, but this is a one vessel brew day. As soon as we get 12 gallons of water heating to strike temp, which is 160 degrees, and you don't have to worry about the temperature going down too much because the entire vessel heats up. Alright, and thanks again for joining us for our easy 10-gallon, one vessel brew day. So next we're going to prepare our grain bill. And we even have a little trick to make this a little easier as well. Today we are going to be grinding our grain directly into nylon bags. So first we're going to line our ale pail with a plain old plastic shopping bag. Next we're going to take a nylon painter's bag and line the ale pail, and we're going to take our grain mill, to which we have attached a drill, and we're going to prepare our grain bill. Today we are going to make a Munich lager, or a Oktoberfest. We're going to start with 5 pounds of, and again, we're in some ways brewing with what we have available and what we have in the cupboard. So we are going to actually be using some Maris Otter today. We're going to be using a 5-pound bag of Maris Otter, and the rest of the grain bill is going to be 10 pounds of American organic 2-row, 5 pounds of Munich and organic Munich, and 2.5 pounds, or rather 2 pounds of rice flakes, just because we have them. Sorry, some of you purists are probably cringing right now. I probably shouldn't tell you we're going to be using American hops, even though we're calling this an Oktoberfest. So, alright, let's get grinding. So there's our ground 5-pound bag of Maris Otter, and as you can see, it's all nice and bagged up for us, so we don't need to worry about making a mess, and we can move on to our next part of the grain bill, which is going to be American 2-row. Are you ready for more?
Yep.
Alright, that's 3.5, almost there. Sorry, getting out of our bulk storage bin over there. Some pet food containers, that 5 on the dot. Alright, so we're at 155 degrees, which is our strike temperature. The grain's probably going to lower our temperature by just a couple degrees. And so here's where the magic happens, and where the one vessel aspect of our brew is going to come into play. Some of you might have guessed it by now, but we are going to be using multiple bags for our 10-gallon brew in a bag session. We have split up the grain bill pretty evenly between these 3 bags. First, add our 3 bags of grain, and I'm going to dunk them up and down a little bit in order to make sure that the grain is fully immersed and wet. And actually, I'm not going to use the bar today, but I'm just going to clip them right to the side of the keg here. These are actually not even touching the bottom of barrel. So if we missed, if we lost our temperature, we would actually be able to just turn the propane on. So there you go. 3 bags suspended in our keggle for our 10-gallon brew in a bag session. We have about 12.5 or 13 gallons of strike water heated to 155 degrees. 3 bags with 22 pounds of grain in total. We have a soupy mash, 100% volume, even though there is going to be a little bit of, grain that is water that's soaked up by the grain. So we're going to have to add a little bit of water in order to get back up to our 12.5-gallon boil volume. However, we're going to do a little bit of a mini sparge, a special sparge technique, which is also going to help increase our efficiency a touch as part of this 10-gallon, 1-vessel easy brewing process. So now we have our 3 bags with a total of 22 pounds of grain suspended in 12.5 gallons of strike water that was brought to 155 degrees. And oh boy, that's a little bit of a warm mash. We're at 155 degrees or so still. So we actually might want to, we could add a splash of cold water, but you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to relax, don't worry, and have a home brew. Welcome back to our 10-gallon easy 1-vessel brew in a bag system. Again, we are brewing with 3 bags, each with about 8 pounds or 7.5 pounds of grain. The grain is actually in here in the bag, and yet it's suspended away from the bottom of the vessel, and so I actually have the heat on because I missed my strike temp, or my mash temp went down a little bit. I am currently at 153. Actually, it's good to turn off. I have the cover on here, but now, so I've turned off the heat, and we have a good mash going here, but we're going to do a little bit of agitation to aid in efficiency. So we're just going to dunk them up and down like a tea bag. As you can see, there's a little bit of some flour that gets into the mash here. This is probably the only downside to the brew in the bag system, is that you don't get a chance to recirculate your first runnings like you do when you're Vorloffing in a traditional brewing 3-vessel setup. But the ease with which you can do the brewing and the cleanup with 1 vessel, I think, far outweighs the extra 3 days that it takes to clear the beer with that extra material and suspension. So there you go. We're just going to dunk these up and down a little bit. It's been about a half an hour. We're doing this to kind of aid in extraction. And then we're going to let the mash sit and cool from its current 153 degrees down to maybe 149, 148. And then we're going to show you a little bit of a really simple mini sparge technique that helps a brew in a bag eke out just a little bit more efficiency. Alright, so there you go. We've gotten the wort to circulate a little bit more through the bags. We're going to clamp them back on. Cover. And wait for our mash to finish. Conversion. Welcome back to our all-grain, easy, one-vessel brew in a bag technique. I'm going to show you guys how to maximize your efficiency in two more ways. First of all, while you are mashing, you gotta agitate your bags like this, and that's good. You know, you gotta just get that wort to flow through there. You know, again, the biggest downside of this technique, and the only downside of this technique, as far as I can tell, or as far as I've figured out, is that you can't filter your first runnings through Vorloffing. So again, I'm dunking this up and down like a tea bag just to extract those sweet sugars. And we're almost done here. Alright, and then here is the next little tip I was telling you about. And that is a mini sparge. You know, we're kind of doing a full volume mash here. You know, you don't need to let this drain for too long. Just have another vessel that's big enough to accommodate all three of your bags. And again, this is a 5 gallon, 6 gallon kettle. You know, I'll give it a couple minutes, or not even a couple minutes, a couple seconds I should say, to drain. And then just move it right on over to here to finish, because I want to get this stuff boiling. Your next efficiency tip, and I know that some of you purists out there are going to cringe, but I don't care, is a quick cold water sparge. We need to make quite a bit of volume up, and there's a lot of excess sugars left in here, so we're just going to rinse them out with cold water and add them to the brew bottle. It's been a month and a half, and we went through a traditional completion of the brewing process and then a month and a half lagering in a 10-gallon conical. This is a sample right out of the 35-degree fermentation chamber. Not too bad. You know, here's a sample that is been sitting out for a little bit. That's at a more realistic serving temperature of 48 degrees. So I'm pleased with how this turned out. This is a light-colored beer. It's possible to have achieved a higher clarity in our beer at this point in time, but it's been so easy. And given more time, I do think that we're going to see this beer really clear up to a high level. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's helped me get to this point. Thank you to the Washington Heights Brewery, Andy Fromm, the Beer Barons, Mike Rice, Mike Schwartz, the Canes, Bruce Berger, everybody. And especially thank you to Angie, my brew partner this evening and my general partner in crime. Prost! Happy Oktoberfest.